experience, with the self-love experience. We are on our own self-love exodus, so we're just going to bring it. We catch up, we see what's been coming up for us. And today, the topic is working with our separation stories. I feel like there's so many angles you can go with the separation stories that we create in our heads that produces fear. It brings us to a very either depressed state or anger, frustration. It just raises up these emotions that actually causes more harm on us than good. Like we're unable to feel growth in that, right? Instead, we feel like stuck in the mud, and which brings in more agony and misery. So a lot came up, especially when you brought this on. This theme was brought on by Hallie in our meditations that we do every Saturday at 10 a.m. So if you're interested in some meditation, we do it every Saturday at 10, and then we hop on here at 11 a.m. on Saturday. So separation stories. I love the questions that you asked in the meditation. You asked questions like, what is the story that you're running about separation with you and someone else, or you and God, you and anything, like you and something else? What's the separation story? And a lot came up for everyone. Yeah, so Hallie, what are your thoughts with the separation stories? How do you relate to it? And and then you talked about unification, right? Like separation. Well, isn't it about unification? How can we bring these separate things that's coming up for us into unity so that we feel better? We feel better and we can move on. But yeah, what's coming up for you with that?
Well, we know the truth by how it feels, right? We know the truth by how it feels in our body. And so when we're in separation, which we are generally in most of the time, the separation story is kind of like the egoic realm, and there's a me, and then there's the everyone else. And generally when we're there, there's fear, there's doubt, there's worry, there's blame, there's shame, there's pain, you know? And we were kind of doing this in meditation where we are in our post process, where if you look at the root of like any challenging, uncomfortable, negative, painful emotion or physical symptom, there's a separation story at the root, you know? And so part of what we did in meditation is we thought about someone in our life that has triggered us or activated us, or that we have irritation toward, or that we have negative feelings about, you know, something that gives that there's a charge there for us. And then I had us kind of look at like what that quality is mirroring to us about ourselves, because there is something in there where there's some self-neglect in there. There's some self-abandonment in there. There's something where we're saying like, that quality in you is not something that I am comfortable with in myself. And so I'm gonna like just project my dissatisfaction or my discomfort or my anger outwardly. And so it's always really great information. We've done talks about this, like our triggers have so much information for us. They're really showing us where we can integrate with ourselves more, where we can send more love. I was even having a conversation with a friend the other night. I was having this like confession about like being around people that make me feel awkward, you know, and how I'm just like, oh, I can't talk to them. They make me feel so awkward. And they were like, well, they're just showing you your own awkwardness.
Jeez, you know,
that's all that's happening here. So like, can you love your awkwardness? Can you love yourself right there? And it's just so helpful. It's so helpful when we take it out of separation and we put it into the oneness, the wholeness, and when we're able to see everyone as a reflection of ourselves, and we are a reflection of everyone else, like it's just, you know. And so one of the other things that we talked about is how you know the truth by the way that it feels. So if you are feeling dis-ease in your body or in your spirit, you're probably in a separation story, because that isn't the truth. That isn't the ultimate truth of how things are. The ultimate truth is union. That's the truth. And when you feel like you're in union, when you feel like you're really like one with God, or like one with your friend, or one with your family, or one with your space, or one with the nature, whenever you're feeling that union experience, you feel peace and happiness and contentment and love. So like, there you are, there's the truth. So yeah, it's just helpful. It's just helpful to remember that like that the root cause of most, maybe all, probably all negative experiences is a separation story. And because it's a story, it's something that we can literally transmute. It's just a story. So we can rework that story and create a new story for ourselves.
Yeah, and this is some deep inner work. Like with this coming up with meditation, I felt like I was having a block, but I knew it was going to be good. Like, let's keep going. How is this mirroring back to me about my own woundings, about like my separation ness that's causing this friction? And hi, I Heart Flow says Grand Rising Goddesses.
I'm Carol.
Oh, Carol! I believe you're the only person who says that, who calls us that. So yeah, I recognize that. Hi. And hi, Lisa, too, by the way. Yeah, so like for an example, my separation story today, I was working it with me and my dog, Duke. You know, he hasn't been doing well, and I know that it's time. I'm just going to say it. It's been time. And I saw myself like having this story of like, I'm a bad person. Am I listening? But I believe that I am listening, but am I really? So it's like this gap of like listening. And what I found out that's helping me lean more into the unification between his needs, like what I really need to listen from him, and then also like what I need, what I really need to listen to myself. And it was that the block was I had my own shit that I'm bringing into when it comes to his life, because I have guilt for the amount of years that I have neglected taking care of him. So there's guilt and shame that I found through this meditation. And once I addressed that, and once I went into him and like how he is feeling and putting myself in his shoes, he has dementia, he's been making accidents and not walking as he used to, you know, falling all the time. So can you imagine that? So the more I felt into that and then recognized my own shame and guilt, I felt like, oh, okay, to unify this separation experience that I'm having, I felt more leaning towards the decision that's actually the best for all, and that is setting him free. Setting him free. He wants to be a young pup again. He wants to run wild. He wants to like fucking chase whatever, you know, and in that spiritual realm, he'll be able to do that. Yeah. Like this is a healing experience for me too, as I keep on talking about it, and like really refining what I just experienced this morning and last night, because I was just like letting myself break down and like let the shame and guilt come up that I feel attached to this experience, and just really leaning into like what's best for him is going to be what's best for me. You know, and but yeah, as soon as I leave, so there's got to dive into the pain, right? Because it is revealing something, and I know it's hard because I'm feeling it right now.
Were you able in the meditation to like meet that shame with love, with compassion, and have acceptance for yourself right there?
Some. I was letting myself really feel into the guilt, especially last night, more so last night, because I was just in tears. I was just bawling out and just letting it come out because I know it's there. Chiro. Oh, is that Susan? Did you change your name? Guilt's a real thing. You are both amazing. Thank you so much. Yeah, and so that's what I need to work on today, so that I can be unified in like what is really best for all. Yeah, and really heal my shame and guilt. I feel like that's been like the theme for years. It's like the shame and guilt with my parents, the shame and guilt with my siblings, the shame and guilt with my brother, the shame and guilt when I was 2. And what's coming through for me also is like swimming in the lesson here. You know, like the guilt and shame is there. Oh, it's Chelsea. Oh, hi. Oh, your sister. Oh, right? Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah. Hi. But yeah, it's and here's the thing. We are always making the best decisions that we have at hand with like the tools and the experiences that we have. And it just really highlighted codependency for me. Like I left everybody for love, and I put that over everything else. So this is me continuing on my healing journey and like leading, like creating more of a peaceful experience for me in this life. And that's the work. It sucks. It's hard. It's emotional. It's ugly because I mean, I saw myself just, especially when I'm allowing myself to cry in front of somebody, it feels even more ugly, and that's why it's so important to be in safe spaces where, you can just be yourself and be raw
Yeah.
and let yourself have experience. I was like, there's no way I'm holding this back. It's like coming up. It needs to be released now to do what's best for Duke.
Yeah.
And for all.
Well, and there's also just something to remember about even the idea that when you were in your codependency time, you were still on your perfectly divine journey. Like that was all part of, there was no separation there either. Like that was all part of the wholeness of it all, right?
Thank you for saying that.
Yeah. So just this forgiveness piece, the self-forgiveness, forgiving the whole situation, forgiving the past partners, forgiving where you inherited codependency because you didn't come into this life with that. That's something that we learn from, our caretakers and the world. So, it's all just like grace, grace, grace.
Yeah. Ooh, it's so juicy. It's so deep. And it's freeing as well, right? And so as I'm feeling this, like what I feel like saying to myself and saying to you, for those of you who are feeling it, is to keep doing the work, because it will set you free and allow you to really set others free, and in whatever form that looks like, right? We all have different ways where we feel like we really, like we're holding on to something, and we know that we need to let it go because it will serve the highest good for all, right? And so that could be like interpreted in so many ways.
It's so true. Yeah. Thank you for bringing that up, because one of the things that I've been sharing a lot about lately with a friend is that you don't even have to, like you and I, we come onto this show and we talk about our lessons and we, have story time and we do teaching and whatever. Some people are here to really teach and share through their voice, through their experiences. But really, all you have to do is self-liberate. And when you are vibrating at that level of self-liberation, you're literally just liberating, you're helping others liberate just by presencing yourself near people. And you don't even have to say anything. You just have to be. And so it just comes back to like taking the pressure off of how we're supposed to like share the light and be the light and help humanity and whatever. Like remove all the pressure of how you're supposed to do that for others, because as you do it for yourself, you just naturally do it for others.
Totally.
Without effort.
Yes, I'm a huge fan and how's it? That's a philosophy, a life philosophy that I have definitely implemented. It totally takes the pressure off. You get one central focus to focus on, and you will see how it impacts your surroundings through time.
Yeah.
Like, how would I say it? People, and this is a general, very strong statement though, and we hear this all the time, people need to see examples. We need to see an example of what being self-liberated looks like, what self-worth looks like, what standing up for yourself looks like, because the way that you will carry yourself speaks 1,000,000 languages.
Exactly.
Right?
1,000,000 languages.
Even if, let's just say there's a language barrier between me and the next person next to me. Yeah. The way that I show up, they can feel my confidence, they can feel my strength, and how much love I have for myself, like the self-worth, like they can feel it. So I love that centralized, simple, it's hard, but at least you have a very central, like it's almost like a self-philosophy way of living, focus. Can I simply work on feeling liberated in myself.
Yeah, that's it. That's all it is. That's all we're here to do.
That's it.
Is literally liberate. That's it.
Yes. And it will address everything that you know that you need.
It will address everything.
Like today, we're talking about the separation source. It will address that.
Yeah.
Because you're going to be in your own space. It's going to come up, you know?
And we just get, new assignments, right, for self-liberation. So we can like liberate ourselves out of a certain situation or out of a certain story or, a condition. Cool, I just freed up space. And then you get your next liberation assignment.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what the whole journey of life is. It's just liberation assignments.
Yes.
And you can either, take the assignment or resist the assignment or, not understand that it is a liberation assignment and think that it's something that's happening to you to punish you,
Oh, thank you for bringing that up. It is actually reminding me of our next workshop, right? When you said resistance, we have a workshop coming up called Body Compass. We are going to teach you tools and support you in diving deep into basically what we're saying of really listening with really healthy practices to know what decisions to make.
Based on your body's intelligence.
Yes. And not from like a pleasure standpoint. And I know some people might think, oh, physical, like da-da-da-da-da. I've tried that so many times, listening. No, we're talking about the in-depth, like listening. The true inward listening where there's processing, all of that. Mm-hmm. So that's coming up on the 22nd. But yeah, I'm really glad that you brought that up because then we can be on our path. And if it's too overwhelming, that's why we have stepped into this place where we're offering support. We're holding safe containers for all of this work every single month and every week with our meditations. And and then being on here as well once a week, and then our monthly workshops. Yeah, everything that you need is in a centralized idea of self-liberation or self-blank, whatever term that you need to use to remind yourself, like I need to do the self-work, self-healing, self-love, self-commitment, self-worthiness, self-kindness, self-compassion.
Whatever word resonates.
Yes, yeah, because through self, it will take care of everything. Like we cannot say that enough, like 1,000 times. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I guess to end this, like, let's give people some, like for myself right now, right? Like how I'm doing this self-forgiveness work and this is, one, I usually do express through video or voice recording. That's been like my number one, voice recording, just sharing what's on my heart right then and there. And then I'll go to my safe spaces, whether that's with myself or other people, to express it further, and saying yes to opportunities like meditation. Good thing we host it and then you lead it. So I really get to like participate in that. But saying yes to offerings that I'm seeing that would offer that what I need. Mm-hmm. So there's like healing with self, which is a huge important practice because that's something that only you can do. Like, those true moments, only you can create that for yourself, and then saying yes to like the support to help you do that for you. So that's what I have been doing. That's helped all the time. What about you, Hallie? When you're in a self-separation story, what tends to help you bring the unification back and you can function from that place?
Well, I like that you're talking about the kind of like the high vibe experiences. That's been one for me. Just like making time and space to go to the bathhouse, go to the park, go to the river, like go to the places that create union in the cells of my body, like the geography and the experiences that help me reunify. Go to the sauna,
Yes.
And then hang out with people that are like liberation reflections. That's another one for me. Like the people that I feel whole when I'm around. The people that don't bring up this like lack or longing or, there's just surrounding myself with these like high high vibration people. That's another one. And then when I'm really alone and I'm not in a position to go to do something high vibe and I don't have anyone around me, it's like breath and surrender, and getting on my mat oftentimes really, really helps me getting into my body, I would say. And just like doing like slow, deep stretching.
Right.
That's one of my main ones.
Yeah, that's so good.
Or like getting in the bathtub. Like the kind of like slow, intentional quality time with self helps me get out of separation.
Exactly. So you see, we all have our own ways of helping us bring back unification. And I like how there's like a high vibe, like, ooh, I'm around places that activate that for me, like brings me my best self, whether it's people or nature. What did you say? Oh, bathhouse. And then there's like the gentle being with self. And I like how you said the slow, gentle stretch. Ooh, there's actually so much in that.
There's so much.
There's so much in that. You're seeing yourself breathe into just the kinks in your body.
Yes.
And you're like, wow, there's so much there. I'm feeling that with you because I need that stretch right now. And I know how it feels when you do that stretch. Chelsea, you never know who you are inspiring by just being you. Exactly. Like we can decrease the pressure of like needing to inspire, needing to like, okay, there's a lot of pressure already that the society brings on to us. So
take all the pressure off and
let's
then
just
see what you naturally feel called to do and how you naturally feel called to show up. That's it.
Exactly.
Like really don't even do it for others. Like do it from a place of like, this is what I feel lit up about. And then you're just going to naturally have impact without trying.
Yeah. Right. Oh, I love this question. What do you suggest for people just starting this journey? My main like tips for questions like that is one, have some sort of like self-promise, like a self-commitment to yourself. And for me, it was like, I'm going to be my own best friend, right? And then you figure out like, well, how am I going to do that? And then for myself, like explore healthy outlets, like explore how you can do that for yourself. And then further, if you're really new, you're probably going to need support.
Yeah.
You're going to need to tune into something to help you go, because not a lot of people on this journey around you. So it can feel very alone. And so when you can look for that community or that coach or that safe container or that workshop or whatever the offering is with other people, it can help you stay on that path because your old self is going to want to go back. So those are my top 3. 1, self-promise. 2, find like tools to help you. And 3, look for support, whatever that looks like. Yeah. How about you, Hallie?
I honestly highly recommend our workshops.
Yeah.
I think like a monthly workshop in a community of people who are on the path at different phases and stages of the path to have a feeling of connection within the healing journey is so major. And we just have like such a beautiful community of people.
Yeah.
And we take people through really helpful processes. So I really recommend that. I also recommend our meditation.
Right? I was going to say that.
Just making quality or like having time where you are dropping in with yourself, with others, just for the accountability piece. Cause it's hard to do it all by ourselves. We're not meant to. We are communal, tribal beings.
Village. I feel the word
village.
Very,
yes, it takes a village to do self-healing. It takes a village. So plugging into community.
Lovely. Yeah, there you go. Thank you for asking, Chelsea. Yeah. So any more questions? That's our talk for today. Yeah, we're going to be here again next week, 11 a.m. And then if you would like to join our meditations, we do it Saturdays now at 10 a.m. Okay. You can always go to selfloveaccess.com to see everything that we offer. So yeah, we'll see you next week. And if you have any questions, let us know. And we take requests for topics as well.
Actually, next week I'm going to be on an airplane and doing all that. So we might not be here.
Oh, for meditation. Oh,
For
and for
meditation and
live.
for the live.
That's
So
right.
we'll skip a week.
Okay, except for next week.
Unless
Due
we
to
get
travel.
together on Sunday.
Okay, we're gonna have to play it by ear. Yeah,
Yeah,
we could
just-
potentially do it on Sunday.
We'll see.
Actually, that may work. That may work. Okay, we'll keep you updated.
Yeah.
Sign up for our newsletter. We'll keep you updated. Okay.
Bye.
Bye, everybody. See you later.